Hello, good evening, good morning, Sat Sri Akal Sareno. Today we have a wonderful guest with us, Mr. Balaji from Chennai. He's a student advisor, a career advisor from last 35 years. Extensive experience, works closely with many embassies, has made thousands of student careers. His own two sons are studying and settled abroad, one in Hong Kong University, the other in the US. So extensive experience. So we thought let's take the advantage of him coming to Chandigarh and so for the benefit of our students and viewers. So welcome, Mr. Balaji.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure to always address the students. And any specific issues, in fact, in terms of international education, this is a wonderful market, wonderful players, wonderful field. In fact, for years, this industry has been growing from stages to stages. And this industry is in a phase which probably little turbulent, little tumultuous, but this industry will never die. This is a great industry to work with, sir.
Wonderful. So, as you said, so my first question is pertaining to the situation today, that is post-COVID. Students have been very, very confused. There was a time in 22-23 when everyone opened the gates. A lot of students went through Australia, Canada, UK, US, everywhere. And then most of them closed the shops. Now the students do not want to go to Canada. The visas are also very tight. UK also, there's a lot of job problems, so very less students want to go. So Australia is a choice, but Australia suddenly starts giving visas, refusing visas. New Zealand takes limited number of students. So what's the message you want to give the students?
See, it is not only about student industry. Let's understand the fact, post-COVID, the growth of every country has plummeted. Okay, so that means countries which were on a boom till 2019, they all got into a recession, they all got into an inflation, they all got into unemployment sectors, a lot of things which every country is going through. Now, for example, UK is basically facing a lot of issues in terms of inflation, recession. Canada took more numbers in the year 2023, and that triggered a lot of difficulty in terms of housing, and today they do not want any students. Now, biggest issue being faced by the world is, it is not that they do not want international student. Countries are not generating adequate employment. Because they are not generating adequate employment, the locals feel the smallest number of employments which is being generated are being consumed by foreigners. So that means you are looked upon by the locals as if you have come to snatch their opportunities. That is why you would see all over the world, you hear campaigns like, go back to your country, don't stay in my country. All those campaigns are regular. It is the same country 5 years before, you all said they are warm, they receive us beautifully. Now what has changed in the last 5 years is countries are on recession, not generating employment. Now this trend, frankly, with whatever the global GDP report says, Q4 2026, if all goes fine, Q4 2026, world is expected to more or less get into a positive mode of generating employment.
Right.
So if, of course, there are a lot of ifs and buts in terms of further wars, further expenses spent on different sectors. If all that comes into play, probably it could be slightly delayed, but otherwise world expects by Q4 of 2026, a sort of a growth would be seen. Once that happens, then the recovery would be little better. So it is a question of 1 year here and there, this industry struggles, and probably I expect things to become more or less better than what it is in 2026, in 2027, and further after 2027.
Wonderful. So that brings me to the next question. Thank you so much for elaborating so well that why some countries are open and some are not, and some so seem open doesn't feel like open. So the other question that comes to mind, let me join two questions here then. We have been seeing a record number of local admissions in our region into engineering colleges, the private universities, government universities, all sort of programs. And Punjab predominantly in the last 10 to 15 years have become a big undergraduate market for the foreign universities. So lot of students lakhs and lakhs of students had gone to Canada just to do a 1 or 2 year diploma after
Correct,
year
correct.
12. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you see that trend changing in the next year when these students start graduating? And because the growth rate of the foreign, all these Western countries would probably move towards 4% or something that generate jobs. So, two factors combined and 27 could become a good year for the students.
See, I would always use the word 27 would be a better year, is not going to be a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing can straight jump shoot to from 0 to 20 or 0 to 30.
Right.
It will be a gradual growth, point number one. To address your first question, last couple of years, students did find return on investment is bleak if I invest 30-40 lakhs on a foreign university, and which was encashed by the domestic universities, point number one. Now, domestic universities felt if I bring foreign universities into India, probably I can use a combined advantage of studying in India, lower cost, better return on investment, also have a foreign degree tag.
Right.
Now, this is what the world calls it as TNE,
TNE, transnational education.
transnational education.
Yeah.
Now, it is a big question how far transnational education would succeed. Because to the best of our knowledge in the industry, we know most of the students who go abroad, at the back of their mind, their intention is, I need to settle down in a foreign country.
Correct.
So whenever they want to go abroad, they always look for which country gives me better post-study work, which country gives me a pathway to permanent residency.
Yes.
So if that logic over the last 15, 20 years, what we have been seeing, if that logic holds good in future, then you would again see not a great success with transnational education. If that is the case, students will slowly shift back to what they were in terms of numbers. You might not see a big jump shoot numbers in 2027, but as you said, as and when opportunities increase, students will start again going back to what they were.
Right. So there's one aspect of student interest, and there is the other aspect also. Can the Commonwealth countries, if we say from the Western countries, most of students go to Commonwealth countries only. Can they survive without the Indian students?
As you rightly said, if there is a growth, if there are more employment generated, they would need you 100%.
Right.
See, let's understand the simple fact. As I told you today, the opportunities are less. They want those opportunities to be confined to domestic students or domestic employment rather than bringing in foreign students and giving them an employment.
Right.
Now, once the country gets back to the growth phase, when I say growth phase, more employment opportunities, more foreign direct investments, more growth, more employment, they cannot source numbers locally. They have to source number only from international soil. This is what it was 2018, 2019, 2017.
And it is an economy churner also. A lot of money comes in.
After 2020, 21, because of COVID-induced recession,
Right.
which the world has not come out of it, because post-COVID there were a lot of issues pertaining to war and all that. So the countries have not come out of all that.
Correct.
Once they all come out and start progressing, generating more employment, they would need foreign hands to support them in terms of filling up those employments. And obviously, students from international soil are going to be demanded by them.
Okay, so wonderful. So now this is settled that this industry is not going anywhere. Slowly and gradually, as the economies settle down, the numbers keep increasing.
100%, 100%.
Now the most important question that comes to our region, about a lot of students in our region go by the herd mentality. If somebody's done Bachelor of Nursing, succeeded, everyone wants to do Bachelor of Nursing. And if they can't get into it, they find some way to pathway or something else. Or go to just for Master of Teaching, they can't get it, find some other way. So what is the message to, because I'm sure down south students behave a bit differently, right? And there are a lot of success stories, if I see from the southern region, right from Hyderabad towards of huge people getting very successful in the Silicon Valley of US and other regions. So what is your message to the students from our Punjab, Haryana, Delhi region?
See, the logic is every country has got certain inbuilt strength. what medical opportunities which could be provided by Australia are not going to be provided by UK or US.
Right.
So which means if somebody goes to Australia as a doctor, manages to write Australian Medical Council examination, and he has got more opportunities there.
Correct.
That's why you would find more of Indian doctors there.
Right.
So there are economies which are flourishing with engineering sector because that has to be a manufacturing economy.
Right.
So you would find economies like Germany, economies like US, which are all vibrant manufacturing economies where if an engineer goes there,
Right.
succeeds better. So first thing which you need to understand the strength of every country. I mean, for example, there are students who come to me and say that I would like to go to some universities in Singapore which are world ranked.
Correct.
But if I have to go for a mechanical engineering or chemical engineering course, a country of about 25-30 kilometers where I would look for an opportunity for chemical engineering, mechanical engineering. So
Right.
the mistake most of the Indian students, if it is south, they do is go by QS ranking.
Right.
And if a university is higher ranked, I am happy to go there. Whereas here in north, if 10 go and succeed, the 11th person follows him.
That's the problem, Hari.
Simple logic to students is do your homework. You are different. Your DNA is different. Your requirements are different. Take out which country has got what opportunities. If a country is wonderful for IT sector, go for computer courses there. If a country is good for medical related programs, go for medical related programs. If you are looking for business related studies, check what are the opportunities available, which are today available, or ask the person who is counseling you which country is good for these opportunities, then take a decision rather than just following the mindset of wherever you want to go. Don't do that.
True. So I can understand. See, Ireland is a huge IT destination because they
It's
have
one of
IT.
the biggest IT destinations, correct.
For service industry, US is a great destination. Also for manufacturing and IT. If you want to make it big in IT and going to Australia will not make that sense.
You should
Some
see
sense,
who
but
are the
not
major
that sense.
players of IT in Australia.
Yeah.
Not the world top players would have a great presence there. So you need to understand all this nomenclature before you decide where you are going.
Right. But engineering still would make sense in Australia because they have huge mining
They have
opportunities.
huge mining. Mining is a great opportunity in Australia. In fact, I know there are a few students who probably want to go to some smaller countries for programs like petroleum. I mean, if you don't have opportunity there, why study a course because the university is higher ranked?
Correct.
Check which country gives what opportunities, which country grows in which sector. Go to that country, in that sector, employment will be generated, employment will be assured.
Yeah. And Australia also is going through a big infra boom. So a lot of construction activities, so civil engineers, electrical engineers, electromechanicals, and even biomedical engineering
Engineers,
is
correct,
doing
correct,
very well
correct,
over there.
correct.
So a lot of engineering programs, still Australia very good. Medical programs, Australia very good.
In fact, the best way to understand this is every country releases a skill requirement which they want.
Right.
What is the skill requirement is I define whom I want. You understand that when you know that what he wants is what I want, if both matches, then your career is more or less, we call it as a conveyor belt career.
Right.
If you go for what you want and which the country doesn't need, then the actual panga starts.
Right.
I want to study this, but the country doesn't want that.
Correct.
Then the problem of clash, how to succeed, all that comes. Look for a country, look for the skills which they wanted, study that skill, which means you synchronize with what the country wants and your success is more or less safe.
I'll add one more point here since you gave the example of petroleum engineering in a small country. The other disadvantage comes, even if the university is very highly ranked, is there is no industry interaction in that program.
No interaction.
So the curriculum would not be very updated also.
No, curriculum updation could happen for the top 100 ranked universities by way of their international contacts. But when I am studying there, I don't have industry interface in terms of going to an organization which is chemical related or petroleum related if that country does not have huge industries offering that.
So employability would be low.
Employability will be low.
Wonderful. So excellent. Thank you so much,
My
Balaji,
pleasure,
coming
sir,
to
my pleasure.
Chandigarh. This is very informative for our students. The main idea of doing this talk with Mr. Balaji was that our students understand independent research is very important. Look at your career, And I think when you look at your careers in the right way, that is easier migration also, what our students are looking at.
See, the logic for every student is before you go in for an organization which will help you to file your application, file your visa, you will have to do certain homework in terms of understanding what is your strength, what I want to study, which country is good for me. Don't wait for a consultant to advise you go to this country. You should have done your homework in terms of which all countries are going to accept the qualification which I am going to pass out with. Once you have list of those countries, you are well equipped to go and ask for the services what you want from a consultant. So that's exactly that way the support services what the consultant expects from a student is also fulfilled by you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Pleasure,
elaborating so much. Thank you.